Dark Knight Rises is directed by Christopher Nolan and is the last film in the Dark Knight trilogy. Obviously, it stars Christian Bale. Coming back as Batman, you also have Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine and Gary Oldman. By the way, if you hear, if there's like a little bit of background noise, it's because it's the air conditioning. It's really hot. It's unbearably hot right now. And obviously with this film you get new additions to the cast such as Tom Hardy as Bane, Marion Cotillard as Talia al Ghul, and you also have Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Robin. Well, we don't know that, but you find out. Obviously this review is also going to be spoiler-filled because this film is very popular and it's been out for a while now. And personally I think The Dark Knight Rises is quite a divisive film in that, some people love it, some people hate it. It's not by any means Nolan's best film. In fact, I personally think it's Nolan's weakest film by a mile. And if I had to, choose which side I'm on in terms of whether I hate it or I love it, I don't like this film. I think it has a lot of problems, and I'll get into some of those later. But in order to sort of convey how I feel about The Dark Knight Rises properly, I have to take you back to Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Now, imagine Batman Begins, right? Imagine it's vanilla ice cream. Everyone loves it. It's universally loved, it's simple, and it's always going to be there, and it's just everything, it's just great, and everyone knows it, right? And it's just universally loved. Imagine The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is like triple chocolate ice cream with cookies and chocolate sauce, and you get 2 scoops of everything, and it's just perfect, and it's everything you could ever wish for. The Dark Knight Rises is basically 2 scoops of every flavor they have, with every little itty bitty little toppings and all the different sauces, and sprinkled with a nice portion of plot holes. I mean, this film is just too much. It's trying to be too much, it's too long, it's not great. But just like that ice cream, there are different flavors in there that you probably end up liking. And The Dark Knight Rises does have its great moments, which I'll talk about now. I mean, easily my favorite thing about this film is just how epic it is. There are so many epic moments, like the opening scene, the plane heist, or when you first see Batman chasing down Bane, or you see Batman fight Bane, and I'm talking about both fights, or you see him climbing up the pit. There are truly epic, masterfully crafted moments of action and drama in this film, but it's bogged down by an incredibly stupid and just boring story that is way too long. I mean, this film is literally way too long. Most of the stuff in this film doesn't need to be here. It's like almost 3 hours, and it doesn't need to be that long. I don't understand why. It's almost like, I feel like with this film, they just wanted to top The Dark Knight, and so that's kind of why they made it so long and so big. And I mean, there are just so many stupid plot holes. All you need to do to see all the plot holes is go and watch Screen Junkie's honest trailers for this film. It basically addresses all the problems that I have with it. It really is just filled with stupid logical inconsistencies. But that's so disappointing because Nolan is one of my favorite directors. And I really want to say the guy's never made a bad film, but with this I feel like he kind of has. Again, there are some really great moments, and the acting is really great. I'll talk about the acting in a bit, but I just feel like this film's biggest problem is the script and sort of the pacing. Because, like I said, there are a lot of moments in this film which don't really amount to anything, which don't really, contribute to the story, and they're just kind of there. And the pacing is all over the place. Like I said, there's some really great scenes, but they're just kind of scattered around a really slow and boring film. Now, I want to talk about the acting. Okay, I already talked about Christian Bale, how great he is as Batman. I've already talked about Michael Caine. I've already talked about Gary Oldman and Morgan Freeman. So I want to take this time to talk about some of the newer actors who have joined this series. Tom Hardy as Bane is great, and I love the decision to utilize Bane as the villain, because up to this point in the series, Batman has never really had an antagonist who was physically equal or superior to him. The villains have always been sort of smarter than him, but they've never really been physically stronger, and it's nice to see Batman meet someone who is sort of bigger and stronger and faster than him. And I really like that, and I also like how Bane in this film isn't just a big meathead brute. He's actually smart. He's kind of a tactician, and he's a leader, and I like that. I really enjoyed that, and Tom Hardy gives such a great performance in this film, even though you don't even see his face. And obviously I know that Tom Hardy's performance in this film was basically the reason that half the population of the world started watching films with subtitles, but it's still a great performance. Marion Cotillard is also very good, and the twist that she turns into Talia al Ghul, it's fine, I guess, but I do have to point out the fact that she has one of the most hilariously bad deaths in comic book movies, or just movies in general. I mean, she's just like this, come on, you have an Oscar, you can do better than that. Also, Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the character whose name I've completely forgotten, and then you find out his name's Robin. He was good again, but I did the Robin thing felt very on the nose. It didn't feel like Nolan. It just kind of felt done just for the sake of it, you know? Now, one of the things that really pisses me off is the fact that this film is actually on IMDb's top 250 list. It doesn't deserve to be on IMDb's top 250 list, right? And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna show you guys its placement on the list, right? It is right there. Dark Knight Rises, 64. And I'm going to talk about some of the films that I think are much better than The Dark Knight Rises, which are ranked slightly lower. I mean, you have American Beauty here, which is one of the greatest films ever made. That film is a fucking masterpiece, and it's only one place above The Dark Knight Rises. That is ridiculous. Look at Aliens. By the way, I don't know why it's in German. Look at Aliens. Aliens is much better than The Dark Knight Rises. Old Boy is much better than The Dark Knight Rises. Citizen Kane, which is commonly known as the greatest film ever made, is ranked lower than The Dark Knight Rises. That pisses me off. You also have Return of the Jedi, Braveheart, Reservoir Dogs, Requiem for a Dream. What else do we have? Clockwork Orange, let's see. Taxi Driver, Eternal Sunshine, Full Metal Jacket, Toy Story 3, 2001. What? Inglourious Basterds, which is one of the greatest films ever made, is ranked lower than The Dark Knight Rises. I mean, LA Confidential as well, The Hunt, Good Will Hunting, Scarface. Every single one of those films that I've just mentioned is far superior to The Dark Knight Rises in every way. I do not know how this film is ranked so high on IMDb. I know it's like the users, but like, come on guys, if you go on IMDb, why do you give this film such a good score? It's not that good. It's not nearly as good as, let's have a look, Last Crusade or Batman. Batman Begins is ranked lower than The Dark Knight Rises.
What?
So is Up. Okay, so is Die Hard. Fucking Die Hard. Heat. Heat. Raging Bull. Pan's Labyrinth. Oh my days. Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to say is The Dark Knight Rises is really overrated. I don't know why it gets the love that it does. I know a lot of people agree with me in saying that it's not a great film, and it isn't. And that's why I'm going to give The Dark Knight Rises a B-. Like I said, it does have its great moments, but it really is just bogged down by a stupid, boring, unnecessarily long story. But that's it, yeah. Guys, thank you as always very much for watching. Please stay tuned for my Interstellar review coming out real soon. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you as always for watching. Thank you.